Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day. Happy hump day to you. It is Wednesday, December 4th, 9:28 a.m. 2 minutes to the open, selling off on the NASDAQ. But let's go take a look at the daily frame, which is actually this one. And what do we see here, guys? Well, we see the NASDAQ and the S&P both at all-time highs, or just off all-time highs now, but certainly overnight, hammering all-time highs on both fronts. So we have a bull market, guys, a rampaging bull market. We have very strong up days again on the NASDAQ, and we have one on the S&P with bullish bodies. This is a very bullish picture, of course. Are we extended? Sure, we're at all-time highs. That doesn't mean overextended. In fact, there's no overhead resistance. What does that mean? It means that there is nobody at the top of this wick. There is nobody who is long that is holding a loser. In fact, they're not even in drawdown at the top of that wick. Zero longs have losses. Shorts would have losses, and the way you get out of a short loss, of course, is by buying. The way you add to a winning long is by buying, right? So that can power things higher. But all-time highs can also cause some profit taking. And so this is what we need to contend with today, including some news items that are coming out at 9:45 and then at 10 o'clock and then beyond that even. And so it's an interesting morning to be day trading. And here we are with the two sisters, guys, on the 1-minute charts. Volume weighted average price. We're pulling back towards it, not there yet. Having been close to 2 standard deviations just a little bit earlier, actually beyond back here at about 6:35 a.m. New York time. Just waiting for this open, which happens in about 5 seconds. And then we will see where we go from here. In the meantime, guys, my trading grid, daily, 30-minute, and 1-minute chart. There's the opening candle right there. We're going to set that 1-minute open range once that candle is done. But there's that daily. You can see the all-time high candle, right? You can see that up day with bullish body, so bullish bias on the daily so far. In its purest sense, it doesn't mean we can only take longs here. There could be some profit taking, in which case there might be a short setup. Who knows? And then we have the 30-minute chart. I'm going to expand that for you so we can get some perspective here. Here's yesterday, remember? Narrow range in Asia, expanding range in the UK, and then explosive range in New York, which is a pattern we see day after day, most days. Here we have a narrow range in Asia, expanding range in the UK, and now we're entering the first 30-minute candle of the New York session. We'll see where we go from here. A little bit of a minor support zone here, guys, from 3 or 4 candles ago. Nothing major, and there's the all-time high right there, the prior 30-minute candle. Now watching this, guys, there's the 1-minute open range. We have a very short-term bearish move coming into the open here, but a very bullish picture here on the daily, of course. I'm going to sit here, guys, and watch this thing develop for a while before doing anything. We have broken the prior 30-minute candle, in fact, 2 of them, and now about to break 3, 4, 5, even 6 candles if we get any lower here. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be jumping on shorts here any moment soon. And driving down, guys. I'm going to drop down to the 30-second chart here for a moment. Yeah, put it back on the 1-minute. So dropping down into this little minor range here, guys, on the 30-minute chart. For now, I'm going to put a zone marker right there at the top of that because we have 2 equal body tops and they sort of a rejection style wick. They're not really rejection, but we have a top wick. And now driving down. Just going to let this develop for a while, guys. I'm not too concerned about this. As you can see here, guys, we are above open range on the S&P and pulling up a little bit here on the NASDAQ, but still inside the open range. Again, nothing for me to do here. Now, we do have news coming out, guys, in about 10 minutes here at 9:45. It's now 9:35 approximately. And those 2 news items are the S&P Global Services PMI, which is a high-impact item. And then we also have the S&P Global Composite PMI for November, which is a medium impact news according to one of my data providers anyway. So it looks like this market's kind of sleeping into the news here, guys, at 9:45, and I will likely do the same thing. I'll tell you what, I'll bring you back when that news is about to land in about 9 minutes or so. And there it is. Looks like no reaction. All right, no reaction. And very often, guys, I find that this 10 o'clock news, even when it's high impact, in this case, high impact and medium impact, two pieces, don't have a huge catastrophic response in the market. I will sometimes, if not often, remain in a good trade, a sound trade, during these news items. I will not do that on the 8:30 news items, NFP, CPI, PPI, things like that, interest rate announcements, of course, 2 p.m. FOMC announcements in minutes, none of those for sure. But these tend to be a little different. But you need to do your own research on that, of course, and decide what works for you. Now, we do have more news coming at 10 o'clock, which is in 14 minutes. And so I will likely do nothing until after that news is digested as well. Given that things are so lackluster here, guys, there's nothing going on. News is out, 10 a.m. Back to the two sisters. All right, guys, nothing going on here. Obviously, we have a very bullish daily and just meandering around here. And this may, in fact, be another no trade morning. If there are no setups, there are no trades, guys, as far as I'm concerned. And it's possible to manufacture trades in here and try to scalp some things and maybe look at this as a double bottom on VWAP and maybe let's buy this thing and so on. But that's not the way I trade the market open. And but every trader is free to do what works for them. Just try to resolve the bullish daily with that range-bound 30-minute, and then this weak and sleeping S&P, which has been on the opens for several sessions, not necessarily in a row, but of late. It's 10:18, guys. I may end this video and just call it another no trade day, or no trade morning anyway. Something could happen in here, of course, but this is a very sleepy looking market. All right, guys, I was about to sign off here, but now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the S&P firming up below open range, but that's okay. Mirroring what we're seeing structure-wise here on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ came down to the middle of open range after the 4 news items, and now finding a little bit of strength. It doesn't mean there's a trade here, but this is looking a little bit more interesting to me. And I'll wait for this to develop a little bit here. All right, guys, pushing up here. I'm bringing out a marker, but I'm not going to act upon this yet. This is the first time we're looking a little bit promising here. Not live, guys, not live. It's 51 points. Pushing above. A little extended here. Very bullish daily. All-time highs. Making a run for new all-time highs. This is reasonable. It's reasonable to expect that we could go higher here after the news items had been assimilated. Pre-news tug of war, during news and post-news tug of war, resolution after news at 10:22 a.m. All right, buy stop order, guys. I think this is fair. See how we're making a push here again? If we can get up here into this clean traffic range, huh? Do I know this is clean traffic? Yes, this is all-time highs. NASDAQ has never traded higher than the top of that wick in the history of mankind. At the risk of sounding dramatic. All right, guys, dropping down to right here, just above these 2 wicks, equal wicks. Going to ignore this one right here. Doesn't exist. And there it is, guys. There's a little cross. So I am long the NASDAQ here, guys. Not looking very robust, is it? Long the NASDAQ. All right, guys, we're back. Pushing up finally here. Quite a grind here today with this lackluster price action. Moving my stop to break even now, having hit the 3/4 point. And if I get stopped out here, of course, I'll let the video continue. We'll see if that was a resourceful move in hindsight after the fact. But now the patience game continues. So on a sloppy and fairly messy day here, guys, a very simple trade idea. Very bullish daily, of course, all-time highs in the history of the universe. Bullish 30-minute breaking above prior candle highs here, 2 candle highs into a fresh, clean traffic range, of course, all-time highs. But waiting for the news to play out first, all the news items, and there were 4 of them. And as long as you sat and just allowed this mess to happen and allowed the news to play out and then waited for that resolution to the upside here in line with the energy and torque of the daily and the 30, fairly straightforward. No guarantees here yet though, but you get the idea. And there it is, guys. Stopped out a break even after watching this market for 2 hours and 1 minute from 9:30 till 11:31 here. But I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Normally I would let this thing play out and so we can see how the trade eventually plays out. But we are now entering into the twilight zone. I'm going to end it here, and you can check out and see whether we went back to the original stop or if it hit profits just by looking at your charts. But I might even update that a little bit later on. Who knows? But have an amazing day, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.